Poetry in Chinatown. Thank you so much for coming. And it's great to see a lot of old friends who are here. Thank you so much. And I'm Clara Sue. I'm the Executive Director of Clarion Performing Arts Center. For those of you who haven't been here for a long time, Clarion has turned nonprofit since 2019. And so we have been surviving because of grants and individual donations. So any kind of help from anybody is always welcome financially. But we're doing good. We're doing good. And so we have a lot of programs on Saturdays. We have music, we have poetry reading, we have film screening, and we also have community potluck. So go to our website, theclarionsf.org, and you can find out all the activities that we have here. I usually start with reading a poem, and I forgot my drink. Oh. So if you could, thank you, Greg, if you can bring me one, and then you can trust for yourself. I like to usually start out with a poem and then a toast to poetry and poetry in Chinatown. But today I want you to look at this beautiful lamb and this photograph of a bassist. Both items I received from Mark Coconos. He passed away earlier this year. And so a friend of his were putting these items online and see if anybody would want to take it. So when I saw the lamb and the bass player, my father played the bass and also the cello. And these two items connected with me a lot, and I think the lamb would be very good for our poetry reading. So I want you to enjoy these two beautiful items, and I have a poem that I wrote for Mark. Moving art. So those of you who don't know Mark very well, he worked in the union. He moved art pieces, and also he was a stage hand. So he's very, very connected to the art world, and he, apparently had a lot of art connection in his lifetime. So this is titled Moving Art. Like chess pieces on an unfeeling board, from one square to the next, the call never stops. Beauty switches location, muscles, brain, and physics required. The job never done. Your ringed fingers, silvery light, a gentle fist, a grapevine kick, the art of moving, the moving art. Each time I switch on the stained glass lamp and try to guess the ferocity of those double bass strings, I think of your litany as your poem comes to its end, lingering, then rises away in the cold bay wind. So to Mark Coconos, poetry and poetry in Chinatown. Cheers, everybody.
Were you Donna? Was he the one that was in the Revolutionary Poets Brigade?
Yes, he was.
So kind of.
He was a member of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade. Yes, thank you.
And so do you know, is that photograph Charles Mingus?
I don't think so. I asked, but I don't think it is. I'm not sure. So, Greg Pond. Thank you, Greg. Greg's been a wonderful curator for the poetry reading series, and let's welcome Greg.
Good afternoon, everybody. Great to see all your wonderful faces. Hi, Sarah. We have two fantastic features this afternoon. We have Kid Kennedy, and we have Tommi Avicolli Mecca. One thing I do want to say, next month, July, we will not have a third Saturday poetry event. There's something going on in the neighborhood, I believe, a street fair.
No, it's because of me.
Oh, because of the rehearsal for a play.
I'm producing a play in Cantonese, and we will be doing full rehearsals every weekend. And so I had to stop all our regular Saturday programs. Yeah. But it will resume.
So we will resume on
August.
Saturday,
Yes.
August 18th.
Yes.
With Garrett Murphy and D.L. Lang. So please come out for that. Few things I want to mention. Phones, cell phones. You might want to put them on silent or vibrate or turn them off or anything like that. Also, one of the things we do here is that after poets read, we give out a pen. Everybody gets a pen just for coming and reading. This month I have some scented pens for Pride Month, so I just figured, well, why not? Give some scented pen. I have some that are not scented for anyone who might be, sensitive to that. So anyway, we will start off with a few open mics, then we'll have a feature, we'll have a few more open mics, and then we'll have our other feature, and then we'll end with some open mics, and if there's time afterwards, we may go around again. We don't have a big crowd this afternoon, but we seem to have a very energetic and beautiful crowd. So good to see you all, and we're going to start off with Marvin is the first reader of the afternoon, and after Marvin, Yolanda will be coming next.
I'm delighted to be here and to see so many of you that I know. Currently, I've just finished a book called Hugs Unlimited, and it's about the lore of hugs with poems and psychological studies and anything you ever want to know about hugging. And one of the things included, I in the past did a book called 26 Compliments, a compliment for every letter in the alphabet. And so in the hug book, that's been adapted so the individual hugs somebody and then you whisper one of these compliments into their ear. Okay. A wren just told me that your new wren house is a dream come true. B. Broken hearts and muddy croquet mallets. You leave an easy trail to follow. C. Civilization is so proud of you. D. Don't be a stranger. E. Every time you pray for reasonable international behavior, the devil spills hot coffee on his tail. F. Find one very happy hour. G. Ganesh is sitting on your shoulder grinning. I'll stop with H. H. Have your picture taken right now. You look so great. Thank you. Oh, great. Thank you.
Good. Yolanda's up next. And I believe after Yolanda, I think Al is after Yolanda.
I just want to say that I'm really upset about what's happening in Gaza. Last I heard, the several news sources have said that in a month, Gaza could see 1 million people starve to death. And Netanyahu just said that there's no innocent civilians in Gaza, including the children. My poem, let my tears turn into hail, yes, hail, hard, small, white rocks, to throw at you like melting words, to thrust at the government who believes and practices fight fire, with other people's lives, with children's lives, of olive-grown fields who now perish amidst the rubble, of bomb apartment buildings, of bomb hospitals, of bomb schools. It took collateral damage, but no permanent ceasefire yet until the second 6-week session. Not yet crossed the red line, but filled the streets of Gaza, West Bank with blood of decapitated, burnt alive children in Palestine. The behind the scenes insinuating that that's what Hamas did to the Israel-bound children. Yes, Biden as a collateral damage call for process, second phase process of permanent ceasefire. Permanent ceasefire. Hamas called for some a few months ago, permanent ceasefire with perhaps permanent ceasefire for more than 5 or 7 years. If Israel returns the land to pre-1967 Six-Day War demarcations, if Jerusalem is given to Palestine, hail granite bombs of TNT at the American Netanyahu who wants to kill all of Hamas, all of Palestinians, because Palestinians sacrifice their lives for their olives, for the olive branches, which Israel doesn't want, because who will replace it as a top military expert with that advantage of military technology, the most advanced military technology in the world. Hail Netanyahu in hell, along with all of his supporters.
I don't have my sheet. I think Al is the next person up, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you. Is this, can you hear me, Marvin? Yes. Yes, okay, just good. It's a pleasure to be here, Clara. And Clarion, I've been here a couple of times before, but first time reading, and it's a pleasure to see you all and to be with friends here. I used to work in Berkeley. I used to ride BART every day. Saw all kinds of people. I had all kinds of impressions. One day I had a particular impression from just someone I saw, and I found him quite remarkable. So I tried to say what that was. This is called Impression Train. The look alone quotes sufficiency. Behold the man Armani on the inbound, seated, high, articulate. Cut smooth, cut sharp, finely creased, calm as his news.
Practice fingers run, silent turns and folds, unfurrowed, glinting, nowhere slack, dome to jaw. A concentrate of eyes, skimming pages, ticking lines. The man clear cuts his times. Glowing from some match, long one, lean, tan, taut, relay a readiness to seize and pair and hold. We fly along, the city slides and rushes by, our man reads, no looking up, arrived. I just have two other poems. Tomorrow's Father's Day. I didn't think of this or plan this, but so these are about my father. The first one is called Pederovsky's. Just a name that came to me one day, Pederovsky's. The thing to know, I think, is my father came from Eastern Europe, where he was born in 1907. And, but I think there's only one detail in here as such that tells you this might be my father. Pederovsky's. A cafe, but not New York, and not the Russian tea room. It's where we never met. Had I been born by the Black Sea side, not Buffalo, and run away like Emma Goldman, and cross borders, say, to Warsaw. And by love, I wasn't sure of once, you looked in on me. I think we would have met at Pederovsky's. So what if it does not exist? I briefing you, at whose knee, on the latest that hadn't reached Odessa yet, and would have asked you to remove the sugar cubed between your teeth, and ordered us espressos from Brazil. And the last one is, I'm a city kid. I've always been a city kid. I was born in Buffalo. But there was one little period, 5 years or so, my parents moved to a suburb outside Chicago, and this is where this is set. It's called Facts on the Ground. And in here, there's one word, the word shone appears in here. But the shone in here can sound two ways, but it's shown as shining. But it kind of means either. Facts on the ground. No longer news. My dad, face to face with his patchy lawn, has his own small plot of frank earth, shown up again by the neighbors, clipped and combed, unapologetic, and green as sun, who only wanted lush, who wouldn't stoop to sob. His alone refused. Even the receded spots lay bare. After all the sprinklings and the fertilizers spread, his sifts to the unwilling nitrate crumbs that came to dust, even with his summer suns, weeding and hand mowing. every spring, back to scratch. The man was a perennial, hoax recidivist. Landlocked, he watched neighbors on every side, quietly fanatic, enter the season winning. More skimped against than skimping, my father wore his lot like a sinner's shirt, holes showing. Thank you. Thanks. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Look at what a nice pen. That's perfect.
That was great. All right, I think up next we have Patrick, and then we'll have first of our two features.
Hey everyone. What a wonderful place to read. So thanks, Clarion, and everyone who arranged this. I'm just going to read a fairly new piece. Will be part of a collection, I hope, sometime. It's called The Magician. We're gathered on a green. He stands before us, gestures, and a playing card appears in his hand. He turns it over, and on its face, an official license to kill. Yet he can picture exemptions coded among the stars on a clear and moonless night. He turns the card again and finds a sword in his hand, its history embossed on its silver blade. Will he swallow it? We wonder what else he might have up his sleeve or under his hat. Clouds maneuver abstractions of light that flicker on the blade. He lifts the card, cuts it in two, and blood oozes along the edge. Closes his eyes, and on each eyelid wills a blue tattoo of the sword, a drop of blood on each sharp edge. A sleeveless assistant we had failed to see approaches him and touches his eyes, an image of 5 white pelicans descending her upper arm. His body begins to evaporate, and as it does, it merges with hers. She turns and walks away, enters a stand of trees we didn't remember being there. We wait in silence. Then someone begins to clap. And now we all erupt in applause.
Patrick. All right. And now for the first of our two features of the afternoon, Tommi Avicolli Mecca is a queer Southern Italian-American poet, writer, singer, and songwriter. His poetry has appeared in many anthologies, including Light on the Walls of Life, Philadelphia Poets, Gay and Lesbian Poets in Our Time, Sweet Lemons, and Civil Liberties United, as well as 2 Revolutionary Poets Brigade anthologies. His original music was recently featured at the San Francisco International Arts Festival last summer party. Please welcome to the stage, Tommi Avicolli Mecca.
I'm a little shorter than most people. All right, I just got to adjust things here. The cop kicked him. He kicked a homeless man sleeping on the cold cement. No blanket, no shopping cart, no bags, nothing but the clothes on his back, a half-empty water bottle, and a styrofoam takeout carrier with noodles. The cop's partner stood beside him, looking bored, as she checked her phone. The drinkers drank in the nearby bar. Their laughter spilled out onto the street. The people crossing the intersection never glanced at the cop kicking a homeless man who jumped up and raced for the train that had just pulled up, door shutting behind him. It being Veterans Day, I wondered if the homeless man, was a vet. Not that it would matter to a cop who kicked a homeless man, to wake him up from his cold cement bed. No blanket, no shopping cart, nothing but the clothes on his back. I stand with immigrants, border crossers, asylum seekers. I stand with refugees, dreamers, day laborers. I stand with my Southern Italian grandparents who were drawn to the lamp by the golden door. I stand with the Statue of Liberty and her promise to the huddled masses. I stand with an America that welcomes the homeless, tempest-tossed, not an America that puts children and babies in cages and tears families apart, or flies asylum seekers to northern cities in a game of gotcha. I stand with the America of Emma Lazarus, not the America of Ron DeSantis or Donald Trump or the MAGA masses. I stand with an America that remembers what it stands for. This being Pride Month, I wanted to, of course, talk about pride. This poem was written because I grew up in South Philly, and in Philadelphia in the 1950s there was a tradition where drag queens would march on Halloween night through the center of the city, and crowds would come even from the suburbs around there and applaud them and everything. And that, of course, was stopped by the police eventually. But I actually met some of those drag queens when I came out in 1971, because I started doing drag when I came out. And I met some of those brave drag queens who marched on Halloween night knowing how much was against them, and this is for them. Fed up with being arrested, beaten, raped at the police station. Tired of every joke told at your expense, every job you couldn't get, every street you couldn't walk, every breath you couldn't take. Silent, no more. You took to your feet on that holiest of nights when you felt the safest. Ignored the jeers, accepted the cheers. Everyone had hair to let down, skeletons stashed in their closets. You had none. You dared to go maskless every day of the year. Courage is not just doing the right thing. It's doing the most difficult when it's most difficult to do. And then my own story of the first time that I did drag, and this is an absolutely true story, I swear by it. I slipped my skinny 20-year-old body into my sister's dress. It hung an inch or so above the knees, a length that would have landed her in detention at St. Maria Goretti's High School. I generously smeared foundation on my freshly shaved face, packed on the eyeliner, mascara, red lipstick. I felt safe. No one in the neighborhood would bother me. It was Halloween, the one night I could shed gender like a cocoon, celebrate Mardi Gras from the binary, take a vacation from having to prove I was a man. Papa shook his head disapprovingly, walked out of the room. Mama laughed nervously. You look like a putana, a whore. It's just a costume, I said. But I knew better, and so did she. I was part of the Gay Liberation Front in the early 70s, and then, of course, the 80s came along and a lot of people died. And there were a lot of horror stories. I was working at the Philadelphia Gay News, and I was covering AIDS every day and going home at night and helping friends. And this is one of the many, many horror stories. It's called Unclaimed Baggage. They left you in that sterile metal catacomb, cold file drawer in the city morgue, tagged and waiting like unclaimed baggage. The dancer, son, they never wanted to know. You who could defy gravity, seduce it as easily as you did men. Broken hearts following you like stray cats, shadowing an old fish peddler with an unsteady wooden cart. They blamed you for shaming them with a disease that was socially unacceptable. Another act of rebellion, they said. Another way you let them down. They could have cremated you or buried you quietly. No one had to know. They chose to leave your body unclaimed in that sterile metal catacomb, cold file drawer in the city morgue, tagged and waiting like unclaimed baggage. A simple reminder. War is the bottom line for weapons manufacturers. War is might makes right, as school bullies know. War is defending imaginary lines in the sand and imaginary deities in the sky. War is proof. Thou shalt not kill is only words. War is an eye for an eye. It leaves everyone walking with a cane. War does not make heroes. It makes corpses. I'm getting through these a lot quicker than I thought I would. So, pride is also about love. And this is a reminiscence, what's the word? Reminiscence? Forget it. You know what I mean. This is called The First Guy. The first guy I kissed tasted of Sicilia, of fields and olives and sweat dripping down back and thighs. The first guy I kissed tasted like the night's breath, sweet as ripened, fat, drippy fruit, and grassy like the smell of freshly brewed green tea. The first guy I kissed left with the sound of mandolins in my ears and the bitter taste of yesterdays that never turned into tomorrows. Tomorrow is Father's Day. Tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's Father's Day, right? Yeah. Anyway, this is a poem for my father. We had, to say the least, a very complicated relationship. It's called Gone. Gone is the small gas station in South Philly he operated for over 50 years. Gone are the blue overalls that always stank of gasoline and despair. Gone is the grease embedded in his pores and under his nails that oozed out with his sweat. Gone are the 6 to 7 days a week he worked. Gone is the 4 a.m. he woke up every day. Gone is the homeless man who slept in the alley and the sandwich he always brought him. Gone are the friends, the immigrant Italian men complaining about the kids who had no rispetto per la via vecchia, no respect for the old ways. Gone are the stray dogs who always ended up living at the station. Gone are the nights sitting out on the stoop, staring at the moon the way a lone wolf does. Gone are the crickets and the lightning bugs that made him smile, and the birds he secretly fed. Gone are the day trips to Atlantic City, the only vacation he ever took. Gone are the neighbors who were always un po' corto di soldi, a little short of change, but he always emptied his pockets anyway. Gone is the heart he wished he didn't have. Gone are the tears shed after he forced his queer son to leave home. Gone is the wife who took him off life support after his 3rd stroke. Gone is the funeral procession that drove past the boarded up gas station he lost just before he died. Gone are the prayers to a deaf-mute God. Gone are the unfertilized dreams. Gone is the man I never knew. I'll end with this. This
You're
is,
good, Tommy.
huh?
You're good.
Okay, I got time. Okay. This is a little long anyway. I'll just go into it. I was going to say something, try to say something pithy and wise, but I can't do anything. So. Damn you who build the weapons. Damn you who burn the books. Damn you who think that love is limited by gender. Damn you who don't consider war an abomination. Damn you who let people go hungry or without a home. Damn you who build skyscrapers that kill birds. Damn you who use the pesticides. Damn you who live in castles. Damn you who program the drones. Damn you who put kids in cages or bomb them in their sleep. Damn you who teach people to hate. Damn you who think truth does not belong in a classroom. Damn you who are addicted to oil. Damn you who cement the earth so it can't breathe. Damn you who never stop to think. Damn you who teach others to hate their bodies. Damn you who build fences and never open your arms. Damn you who are white supremacists. Damn you who hunt or experiment on animals. Damn you who turn away refugees. Damn you who think the morning rises on the horizon just for you. And I lied. I'm going to read one more quick haiku to finish to end with. Pandora's problem. Putting the Republicans back into the box.
Tommy?
Yes. Oh. Is there a regular?
There is a...
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Wow.
Great.
Paper and a pen. What can I do with that?
One more hand for Tommi Avicolli Mecca. Okay. All right, up next we have Christopher, followed by Dan, and then Rob. Christopher.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I wrote partly below it.
Oh.
So cool. Yeah. Very rare of those small gas stations around the city.
Speaking to the mic.
This poem is called, this was just published in Synchronized Chaos magazine. It's a webzine that comes out a couple times a month. It is called The Hallucination. And it is something of a riddle poem. So I'm hoping by the end of the poem it will be clear what it is. The hallucination. It tracks the edge of the wilderness inside the skull of the mind, tongueless yet obstreperous, shouting like King Ubu lost in Poland. It is shocking how unshockable it is. The raptors of consciousness gather in its many caves. The blue shells of their eyes do not blink. Argus is its only ancient commentary, though Medusa is to come. Count its eggs, those tiny mausolea. The mice in the garden gave it all their stories. The mountain flowers are frozen like so many monkeys in its zoo of gazes. The coyotes themselves are whining to get in. You can hear them every night. The ravens shake their beaks and coolly smirk at the mad women staring at their hands like holding nothing. A mayfly. It livens gardens, kitchen, wood. Eats, mates, populates, irritates cows slowly at chew on cud, pig and piglets at peace in mud, minding its own business horse, and the sweaty farmer wondering what on earth a mayfly could possibly be for. It lives for a day, secretly, then dies, hidden. In the meantime, the mayfly shimmers. A pastor speaks a homily. A sage draws a moral. An evolutionary biologist shrugs his shoulders. A poet writes a poem. And the mayfly shimmers. As it bobs about in the Palo Alto shadows, the eye of Silicon Valley's first trillionaire falls upon the mayfly. I've got more money than Bezos and Musk. At my fingertips, I've more power than 3 centuries of kings. Soon, I'll have more artificial intelligence in my phone than all the geniuses in history wrapped into one. I plan to live forever after conquering the stars. You might say, I have arrived, my lepidopteran worm with wings. What do we have in common? We both played the evolutionary lottery, my friend in natural selection. I, however, like a mayfly, survived. My ancestors built Peking, Rome, London, empires bridging the seas. They brought continents to their knees. One day invented the plowshares, next the telephone, airplane, internet, plastics, gasoline, and AI. We conquered the land, the sea, the sky. We were the womb of the atomic bomb. We turned the earth into our garden. Civilization, our backyard. the beauty of earth, a gallery in a palace at the heart of the heavenly city. And here I stand, at evolution's end. Its purpose, goal, and aim, my friend. Who is at the end of the food chain? I. Who is the creator, predator of all prey? I. Who is the master of the universe? I. Who is the master of your fly swatter? I. Who is the greatest, the biggest, the one, the handsomest, the prettiest, the sexiest, may fly? I, just I, only I. And he rolls off his driverless Tesla, his spine tingling at the prospect of his next trillion. Not long after, the sound of an explosion rocks the valley. He was texting an order for shares in AI, and his car was broadsided by an oil truck. And the mayfly shimmered.
All right, Dan, I believe, is next, and then Rob will be after. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to read one poem. The bombs are dropping elsewhere. These green hills not being pitted and peeled. This row of houses not shredded like lettuce. This town's radio tower not grated to its nub. The bodies scattered like burnt pumpkin seeds over untranslated fields. Cannot imagine our pursuit of happiness. Here, only sun and rain fall through the sky. Kitchens smell of basil and sage. Skillets turn onions clear. Ovens coax bread to rise. War will not cease until each human heart is full of love. And so war will never cease. The universe itself, people believe, began with an explosion, as if God were a terrorist, or to deploy a synonymous rhetorical term, an army pilot. Our universe, an explosion, a bang, scattering matter like shrapnel, though the facts point just as much to a flower suddenly blooming.
Thank you. All right. And next up we have the amazing Rob.
Hold on.
Oh.
I'm finding the right one. I lost it. Oh, this is terrible. Maybe you should skip me. I have 80 here and I can't find it.
Okay. All right. Well, the next person up will be Barbara. Barbara Saunders.
Thank you, everyone. I have 4 short ones. The first one, I couldn't resist a father poem. It's called Invocation. My father taught me how to slide a vinyl album from its sleeve without touching the grooves. Drop it on the turntable's peg, place the diamond stylus at the edge, scratch the voices of the dead out of a spinning black disc right into the room. This one's called Manson is Dead. His 15 minutes of infamy parlayed into a brand roadmap built to last into the next American century. Amuse-bouche of gory details to fill the mouths of newscasters. Likeness, an icon of disdain for political correctness on t-shirts and pinback buttons. monster rising to awareness from the swamp of the unconscious, stray gator who crawled through the dog door, muddying kitchen floors, swiffered to a sparkle but hosting nasty germs. Editors and journalists play down the obituaries so as not to dignify the offender or call to mind the price paid, the habit learned of indulging our fascination as he preened before the cameras, rambling, insulting, and laughing at us, winning friends and influencing people, just like he always did. Permanent record. Beethoven's manuscript sits behind glass visitors can't help but touch. The way people caress pregnant bellies without asking. The guard never scolds, just wipes away the fingerprints on his every revolution around the room. Flicks of the composer's goose quill caught musical phrases in flight from his deaf ears. He scrawled heavy lines through errant notes, but ghost ink bleeds through to those who can read a score, and the sounds ring out. My final one's a haiku called Eve Couldn't Stop Herself. Ripened on the tree, the apple dropped at her feet. Juicy bites bring joy.
Now we have the amazing Rob.
Thank you so much for that father piece. As you were reading it, I had a sudden moment of catharsis that suddenly I think maybe my father's life starts to come into focus with the thought that, and I have to ask him, when he was a young man, he probably read How to Win Friends and Influence People. So thank you for that. When I was in my 20s, I was very rich. And when I was 31 years old, I had a near-death experience. And it changed my life forever. And I wrote this song about it. It was actually the first song that I ever wrote. Hear it scraping through the night. Hear it breathing a raspy fright. Hear it cackling on the breeze. Hear it crashing through the trees. The monster who eats rich people. Picking Armani out of its teeth, wearing a Gucci scraps wreath, a polo mallet for a toothpick. Run away, quick, 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 the monster who eats rich people. Trust fund babies dipped in gravy, socialites in half-chewed bites. Upper crusters dipped in mustard, aristocrats, no placemats, CEOs like Cheerios, movie stars in mason jars, nouveau riche in a kale quiche, old money dipped in honey, jet set on charcoal briquette, millionaires with caramelized pears, trophy wives with cream and chives, tycoons with stewed prunes. Pooping Fabergé eggs, farting poofs of Chanel, wearing Rolex earrings, the tolling of the dinner bell, a monster who eats rich people. If you're an heiress or an heir, it'll drag you to its lair, and you don't want to go there. Leave your mansion if you dare, the monster who eats rich people. Eat 'em up, eat 'em up, snack us up, gobble 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em up, snack us up, gobble 'em up, everyone sing, eat 'em up, snack us up, gobble 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em up, snack us up, gobble 'em up, oh yeah. I have more time?
Yes.
All right, here we go. One more. Where are you? There we are. All right. I don't think this song needs any intro at all. Oh yes, it does. Do we have any Spanish speakers in the house? Okay, we got a couple. For those of you who are not Spanish speakers, there's a little Spanish at the end of this song. And I'm going to give you the translation, although it's not a good translation, because there is no direct translation for these words. So it's the closest that we can get. It comes to 1, 2, 3, yes, yes. Got clean sheets and a great sound system. I met some frogs, even kissed them. I posted my ad in Lonely Hearts Seeking. I patched my waterbed, no more leaking. Sometimes I'm suicidal as Sylvia Plath, but things are looking up, let me hit you with the math. I'm not alone tonight, I'm 1/3 of the way to a threesome. Not alone tonight, I'm 1/3 of the way. And that's 33%. Got a book of love sonnets and dirty limericks too. Highbrow or lowbrow, whatever you wanna do. Got an extra blanket if you're a blanket hog. I got porn with good acting and great dialogue. Sometimes I'm suicidal as Sylvia Plath, but things are looking up, let me hit you with the math. I'm not alone tonight, I'm 1/3 of the way to a threesome. Not alone tonight, I'm 1/3 of the way. And that's 33%. Now, someone here tonight who ain't been laid in years. I tell you who it is, just pour a few beers. I'm not saying it's me, I'm not saying it's you, but we all been so damn lonely, we don't know what to do. I got scented candles, my minibar's tiki. 2 kinds of lube if you're feeling freaky. I got a really good book in case nobody shows. I got extra takeout and 1 extra row. Sometimes I'm suicidal as Sylvia Plath, but things are looking up, let me hit you with the math. I'm not alone tonight, I'm 1/3 of the way to a threesome. Not alone tonight, I'm 1/3 of the way. Not alone tonight, I'm 1/3 of the way. And that's 33% and a tiny bit more of the way to a threesome. Uno, dos, tres, sí, sí!
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, I think it's about time for our second feature. Thank you. All right. Kit Kennedy is a queer elder, poet, blogger, and photographer living in Walnut Creek, California. She's published 7 collections, including While Eating Oysters. The work has appeared in Haight-Ashbury Literary Journal, Sinister Wisdom, Tipton Poetry Journal, Great Weather for Media, First Literary Review East, Gyroscope, Shot Glass Journal, and California Quarterly, among others. She serves as poet in residence of the San Francisco Bay Times and resident poet at Ebenezer Lutheran Her Church. And please visit her at poetrybites.blogspot.com. Please welcome to the stage Kit Kennedy.
We're going to rearrange furniture here. Tommy, you haven't seen short and you've seen me. There we go. Okay. Can you hear me? Yep.
Yep.
Great. Okay. So I am just grateful and I am yippee happy to be here. So Claire and Greg, thank you, thank you. I'm going to start with reading a series of 4 poems. It's called This Day Holds Silence Close, and it's dedicated to Ann Bitterman, a friend of mine. It is not biographical, I should say that, except for 2 things. One, her middle name was Flora, which she didn't like, so that's whatever it is. And the other is that her favorite flower was the gardenia. The first poem in the series is, Monday arrives as a bowl with 3 questions. After an evening rain, the hillside is awash in green. The verdant always flings Flora outdoors. When she returns home, the light on the far wall is ragged as slate, and the house feels like a solo cello has been playing. How will Flora shape the retelling of her adventure to every empty room? Which mirror will be most sympathetic? When did it occur to Flora to wear such a sad shade of gray? Less. Flora divides her time into 3 equal segments: into the sun, into the fire, into the tiger's eye, offering no clue why manual typewriters hold such interest, nor when Flora sees a fried egg poppy, why that evening she dreams of ink, nor why Flora worries when the apple falls, who will catch. The door opens, the door closes. Upon interior weather, all boxes accounted for, labeled, sealed. Soon, the door opens again, only to shut permanently. This day holds silence close. Roasting summer's last peaches, she thinks only of persimmons. She feels off balance, her imagination an unruly garden, no demarcation, morning glitter or evening stars. Memory sometimes simple as one pearl button, sometimes an immense gutter. Oh well, work to be done. To which garment need she sew this fine black button? Who among her closest knows every item in disrepair in Flora's closet? And the final one in the series, tomorrow inevitable as today. Tomorrow inevitable as today. Gray silk morning, sky short on sympathy, a dull worry in the air. To come this far, glance over her shoulder, and never, never turn around. Didn't you notice door ajar, napkins folded, friends gathered, empty chair? Didn't you crave one last sniff of the gardenia by the door? Meditation on blue and yellow. Meditation on blue and yellow. Now the world instantly recognizes the Ukraine flag. Minimal, almost bucolic, democratic in the distribution of hues. Azure for the country's streams, sky, mountains. Yellow honors golden wheat fields and the earth's richness. Almost biblical, so above, so below. That's the sweet metaphor. Reality is harsh, unrelentingly cruel. In my mind's eye, I see a Ukrainian woman despondent. Don't know her last name. Her first, sister, lover, aunt, mother, grandmother. Grief-stricken at seeing war abroad, it's easy to overlook the wars of rage decimating our schools and our streets under an azure sky with sun striking golden hills. More than a flag unites us. Still, I can't stop thinking how much of home can one stuff into a pillowcase. So I do these, I've always wanted to memorize my poems, and I'm just hopeless at it. I've tried for decades and I've given up. So what I've developed is a poem called a blink poem, and it's what I can memorize this. So I'll intersperse a few of these, and you'll see that I won't even be looking at this page. I'm so proud of myself. So I'm going to read it twice, so here it goes. Certain fruit intimidate me, pomegranates in particular. That's the whole poem. Certain fruits intimidate me, pomegranates in particular.
Brilliant.
Okay, so right around the corner, some corner, there's Taraville Beach. And this is written for the wonderful exhibit many, many years ago of Richard Serra's huge monumental paintings, and one of them was called Taraville Beach. So, Taraville Beach for Richard Serra. As if there were a murder of crows stretched and witnessed from above, something massive to stand upon massively to seep into geometrically, an honest reenactment of the pure fooled. Double dare from regimented staples, missed connectors, black pages, ferocious energy, unrecognizable linen. Spring has gone dark. The presence of all color never looked blacker, and she between tuning fork, traces, smallest syllables, issue, sentence, simple, sharp teeth. No sand, no wave, don't give up. The crow has approached the meteor on trajectory to harbor of its lost echo. Echoes cluster. No question form when a question written. Calligraphy by Bill, Susan's gestures, a frame cannot contain the provisional. Make of this what you will. Spring will in the end out. Remember, wind did this to the reeds. She was positive, though unprepared, face to face, alone with the undiscovered constellation and the chasm among the question, who will believe her? Black marks on page, left to construct the music. There were droplets forming under the permafrost. She called them my little darlings. Heavy footsteps from a stranger. She pleads a slice of silence. On her way to paint sunflowers, she was shocked by the closeness of the meteor. Covered her head, waited for the thump. Blink poem. Her mask never comes off. Her mask never comes off. So, I gotta say, they're fun to write. Really fun. If you had said to me that I would be writing psalms to the church, I would try to do it as respectfully as I could, but I would suggest that you go seek psychiatric care. Because that was about the last thing I would ever think I would do. And here I am about 10 years into it. I write probably a poem a month for the church. It's the big purple church up on the corner, known as Her Church or Ebenezer Lutheran. And they give me the liturgy, and then I'm free to kind of interpret it as I wish. So I'm going to start with this one because this was written for a Pride Sunday. Here and now, full of color. Perhaps yellow is your color. Lots of reasons to love her. Sun, lemons, daffodils. Perhaps you migrate to blue. Music, night's indigo. No doubt you know the union of blue and yellow creates green. Who doesn't love her? Leaves, stems, new shoots, the cat's jade green eyes. Perhaps you are smitten by pumpkin, persimmon, poppy. Perhaps red-winged blackbirds, raspberries, and pomegranates call you. What of purple, you ask? Some say she is the color of community, luscious, tangible. Know this, always present, she is our energy, and each of us inhabits the spectrum of her breath. Indeed, lots of reasons to love yellow and blue and green and orange and red and yes, purple. Lots of reasons to love every you. Lots of reasons to love. And another song. Because we remember, they are here. Because we remember, they are here. The dead are among the most living in our lives, and they don't adhere to time. Their voices, their stories are not mute. A snippet of song, you hear dads whistling, a bark, a purr. The cherished pet magically appears, eager for affection. Smell floribunda, and there sits Grandma Rose quietly rocking. Holidays are memory's kitchen. In that side of mashed sweet potatoes, which you spoon into the family Franciscan covered casserole at Thanksgiving, at once your hands are your mom's. On your daily walk, morning ritual, when the sky is a particular shade of blue, your best friend who died of cancer is laughing with you. Don't be shocked when you look into the mirror. Simply revel with all your loved ones smiling back at you. Today, the veil is especially sheer. For those dear and intimate to us, and those we've never met, but whose bravery, creativity, compassion touch us, they too rise up and stand beside us. Blink. Guess you had to be there. Guess you had to be there. Fractured sense of humor. I had the privilege of a year ago of working with a wonderful collage artist, however you say that. And she used colored gel pens, and they were the most luscious colors. When I saw them, I said, I could just float into them. I could just float in them and be so happy. And so she said, well, let's get together and work on it. So we did about 6 of these, and the title was Journey Through an Imaginary Landscape. And I picked one for this evening. And I used the form throughout the 5 pieces to do basically haiku. So a prose poem and then a little, a haiku thing at the end. So this is Journey Through an Imaginary Landscape, number 1. Fall, perfect season for a journey, a leaving, a walk into color. Leaves fall, footsteps rise along the path. Your provisions minimal. Take along a small notebook, 3 colored pencils, the outline of your lover's hand, a handkerchief scented with home. Is it the smell of rosemary, cut grass, sea salt, baking bread? Grasp that walking stick in the shape of a feather. The mountain awaits, bathes in light, the memory of everyone you've loved. That swatch of purple, the shade of pro wings in early evening will be your guide. If you happen upon an elder woman with a wisdom smile handing out persimmons. Be sure to take one. Falling leaves, lover's breath, the mountain adjusts. So I think it's well, it could be very foolhardy to read a new poem, one that you really just written fairly recently, but it's never stopped me, ever, ever. So this is one of the newer, very new poems. Reoccurring dream, a halo of pollen. Up sweat fingers, and always, always its center a tree. Faint, tracing several soft footsteps. If she has a name, let it be Eleanor. The time of her being, twilight. Sit quietly. Listen to the backyard. Yes, mainly house finches. Before you count your years, night swallows whole each bird without grievance. Best continue sitting. Should the I Ching shine favor on you, time's gift, light, will crack open another intimate memory of pollen. And I'm going to end with a what I hope is a rousing, but it probably sounds like a quiet poem, Manifesto. And I wish everyone in here a savory and more than savory, probably a peaceful evening. And I want to thank again Clara and Greg for this great opportunity. So here's the rousing manifesto. On this land, I will print each of my poems a tiny house. On this land, I will print each of my poems a tiny house. From a 3D printer, every house will be made of concrete. Each poem includes a reference to the moon, contains at least one window. Although space limited, 2 comfy chairs face each other on a conversational slant. I'll leave the door ajar for you. Thank you.
One more hand for Kit Kennedy. Okay, oh, wonderful. Next up we have Alice, and we have Alan Harris, Ed Mike Hugh, and Antoinette and Sarah. Will you be reading? Will you?
Sure.
Okay, all right, great.
It's nice to be here. I have a new book. It's called City Canyons, and I have a few copies with me and some other books that I've been in, and some books that I edited for other poets, in case you like any of them. This is for my father. It's called Corona's Subconscious. When I was a teenager going barefoot into our cold basement, I remember my father was so mad at me for going barefoot. It didn't seem so serious. I could get sick, he said. Now this early May, as I walked through the woods with a mask, thinking about his birthday, May 16th, 1910, in 1913, his little brother died of spinal meningitis before penicillin. Some walkers without masks and not at a distance. I thought Dad's anger was a businessman encountering a fresh flower child. But now I think it touched off something in him like the dark inside of a tree. What was it that went wrong? They both were so little that a little child could disappear without a trace. before he even really knew his little brother, before they could play together in the sun and snow. It was always kind of a mystery that my father had a little brother that had died during an epidemic. Ghost ships and ateliers. Perhaps she was Mimi and he was Rodolfo, lying on pallets, and Marcello painting in a cold garret or fiery third floor. No escaping when the Reaper comes. Rodolfo's poetry blending into smoke and Mimi's curtailed breath, scattered paints and brushes above a Parisian Oakland atelier, in a studio where Rodolfo and Mimi fall in love and Mimi dies. Final words, au revoir, holding a palette full of colors. They were Mimi and Rodolfo and their friend Marcello. It was home, in spite of it all, or because of it. And I guess you have to know La Boheme to be at home. Hopefully some of you do. This is called The Long Gray Blanket. On the subway, there he is again, the man with the long gray blanket, walking down the aisle, pushing through the car door, covered by the blanket down to his heels, frayed at the bottom and the top. Perhaps he could be the same man I saw 2 months ago, or is he only dressed in the identical blanket, like the one I have lying in a trunk, used for cold summer evenings or camping trips when I was young. Pine needles and dried Scotch broom still scattered on the heavy gray cloth that lay on the ground, smoky still lingering from campfires. Another thing forgotten in my mother's attic. The man in the subway car paces back and forth, his arm holding the wrapped blanket close, not revealing much. He doesn't say anything as he walks back and forth, wearing a lost childhood. This one is called Cold. On a cold day in San Francisco in Union Square, grannies sing against war. A woman at a Mission bus stop asks where she can buy a blanket. I don't usually shop at big stores. She wants one nice but not costly. I point to Cliff's 5 and dime. We do what we can to keep warm.
All right, Ellen Harris is up next, followed by Ed and Antoinette. Ellen Harris.
The fragments of the day, the smile that is nailed to your face, the idiocy that is the proof of humanity, the horror of self-congratulation, the grace period that lasts a millisecond, the lentil that nearly chokes you to death, the kidney that won't be donated to you because some generosity has its limits, the new COVID variant that can be cured through excessive masturbation, the feces that emits no odor, the intercourse that's meant to kill time between the foreplay and the cuddling, the used car that you sound like you're always trying to sell me, the receipt that is so long it has a foreword by Paul Krugman, the 2 left feet and the 6 right ones, the laughter at a funeral, the death that comes with death, the memory bank that has a body count, the joyride on unstable ground, the unstructured, improvised breathing, the car that's designed to look like it's already been in an accident, the emotional neediness of your computer, the complexity that is the excuse for bad behavior, the kill switch on your likability, the confusion that always leads to depression, the gravity that need not apply, the less that is more, the push that comes to shove, the mystery that is meant to remain unsolved, the affirmation that we are all screwed, and the pointlessness that is the point. God is a liberal, a weed-smoking, union-loving, public education-friendly, sex education advocating, non-gun owning, pro-choice, anti-animal testing, socialistic, cross-dressing, vegan, bisexual feminist who digs Karl Marx, Friedrich Nietzsche, William Burroughs, Lenny Bruce, Robert Mapplethorpe, early Rolling Stones, John Lennon's Imagine, Monty Python's Life of Brian, and the delicious irony at the end of each episode of The Twilight Zone. And who wishes that people would stop thanking him or her when they win awards because he or she doesn't give a damn who wins Oscars, Emmys, Grammys, SAG Awards, Source Awards, CMA Awards, and especially People's Choice Awards. And who doesn't get the popularity of pseudo-messianic, uber-materialistic, racist, warmongering TV and radio talk show hosts who are most definitely and quite obviously going to hell. And who doesn't care what you call him or her, as long as you don't shoot at or try to blow up people who call him or her something different. And who would consider it a personal favor, please and thank you, if organized religions were a little less organized around ridiculous rituals like the smearing of ashes across foreheads, and a little more concerned with the practicality of giving tangible help to those who need it, like it says to do in that unreadable book that they claim to love so much. And who would like it very much if people who are lucky enough to have the right to vote would take that vote seriously enough to not base it on their fears and prejudices and a warped interpretation of the archaic language found in documents that are hundreds of years old, and to not vote for someone who claims that God told him to run, because no one who God wants to see in office would brag about it. And that's because God is an atheist.
Okay. All right. Up next, Ed McHugh, and then Antoinette. Yeah, Ed. Ed.
Hi. I'll start with, or they're just four little lyrics, so, but I'll read this one first, I think. I am a fact, not a fiction. It's from a little booklet of selected poems recently published in a print volume. I am a fact, not a fiction, a rite, not a ritual, a progression, not a procedure, a song, not a schedule. I am in my life, and I live it, partake it, enjoy it, wonder at it. I'm green leaves a-quiver, red clouds a-flutter, wacky as Christopher Smart talking to cats, and alone in dark forests in short pants. I am Niagara River, crashing over the falls, cascading through the gorge to the Devil's Hole, the maelstrom, sweeping into the last great lake, from Lake Erie to Lake Ontario, and then surging into the Great Lawrence, into my mother Atlantic, rising forward and into the clouds, into hurricanes I cut with the knife of the times, out onto the rocks, the Cape of Good Hope, to India, South China Sea, sieving through Oceania's islands, Pacific kingdoms, up past Galapagos, north, home, shore, to Mission Rock, San Francisco, and my love's bed, because I am a fact, not a fiction. And to follow on with more of my birth town, Niagara, I hear you in the winds. I hear an order built, blessed, wild beauty, this place. I hear in the wind old sorrows and new voices, undefeated desires and the muffled advent of something I define as bright new angels. Can you hear in the wind an independent people who never depart, have no time for friends, who want to go and want to stay and never decide? Hearing old phantoms, a swirl of the released mustard stars, innocent cries. It is in September. Telephone call, a summary, sea change, wheels round in childhood desire, turns life's wheels, forgetting ways back into surface consciousness. Soon nothing waits, and it's late. Nothing waits. Green thunder, fresh water, spray above Niagara, at our three sister islands above the falls, rocks crash down into the gorge, rapids, a whirlpool, devil's hole, roaring below Niagara University, high above on the east side, evidence challenging life, having from Lake Erie, Buffalo, Grand Island, Niagara, Lake Ontario, Fort Niagara to Toronto, Canada, and then into the flood of the river, my father Lawrence. San Francisco, sunset. At night, a strange heart, music learned and loved. San Francisco, we are your children. Chorusing our promised histories, now memory tongue. Geography, your boats, marmalade wave wash. San Francisco welcomed us, never knew, believing all blind, handsome city. Harbor stone, mouth rainbow rising. We now older, dreaming, a blue-green welcome this sunset. And finally, this one, another little lyric. The Phoenix, all that noisy night, the Phoenix flamed, crackling embers into singeing song, scorching fog, fuchsia western laurel tree, raising memories of our flower years, smoke clouding what passes these keys of flesh. Time, the Phoenix, enters the Sundance, fragmenting, shattering, grinding down my tired half-dreams of a failed dream, scooping from that mist of muffled bones one frail and fragrant puff of finished view. Flee, finding stars, sky, sirens screaming, ears turn. Hope, it spins again into morning. So what could never end might yet still come again. Thank you. Is this where I get my pencil?
This is where you
I think
scented
I like reading.
Right.
All right, thanks.
All right. Next up, we have Antoinette. And then we have Sarah.
So I picked up 3 here, and I'll start with my honey. My bee-man is a wild man who keeps me in honey. His rusty old Ford 250 holds bees buzzing near their queen. Overflowing from their box, big shovels and old tires keep the bees braced and brave in the truck bed, moving to a safe place, safer for the bees and for the neighbors, avoiding a sting, but loving the honey. So sweet, so tasty, healthy, switch from sugar. Teaspoon is all you need to beef the skinny ones up or reduce the fat ones down. Honey has prabha qualities in Ayurveda, adapting to biological needs as fate declares. He had a love affair with bees. I didn't mind, because I knew he was mine. Where we walk. Earth, where we stand in rotation, topsoil thick and dark. Tulips keep their bulbs buried under spring till colors appear. Will they sing in hibernation, settle in for winter's cold, keep themselves warm as roasted chestnuts on Paris streets in November? Fledgling roots hold soil's story, relishing worms, inhaling dirt. Aphrodisiacs melted in with dead skin cells and clipped nails, a muck and mire frontier crushed under hooves on roads paved for purity over the land. Flowers bloom like creative, seen at last, so sincere, their homecoming in the midst of money-making fools. Clearing spaces, filling voids with wine made from sand, wandering merchant on her own dirt path, singing songs, celebrating grass. And lastly, peasants and pouilleurs. Pouilleurs is an enduring term meaning children with head lice in French. My dad was Maltese, an artist with huge hands, a humble city dweller's fitting in diversity. He knew he came from peasant stock and was proud. My cousin's mom was from Corsica. She thought all Maltese were peasants and didn't want her kids mixing with us. All my cousins were not blood related. My stepmother's sister's kids, 100% Jewish. My uncle's wife's kids, 100% Italian. Us kids, 100% Maltese. My stepmother, Parisienne, she survived the Holocaust. My sister is half Maltese and all Jewish. Put us together, we're a Mediterranean salad. San Francisco, our artichoke heart.
No, there's stuff down here.
You want to mention your
Sure. So 1428 Poets is the first Thursday of every month. It's in San Francisco, both live and hybrid. And it's at 1428 Haight Street, right at Haight at Masonic. And it's from 4 to 6 on the first Thursday of every month. Would love to see you there, either on Zoom or in person. It's a fun event. Thank you.
Sarah?
Thank you.
I'm so happy to be here. Oh, I fell down and broke my butt. I fractured my femur. So I'm back out and about. I'm real happy to be here. It's nice. Put this here. You know, let's see if this is gonna run away from me. You know, when you have dreams and you try to remember them and then you try to write about them, so that's a real translation job. It comes out as something else, so that's what this is. I swear it was you, I'll see you tomorrow, doing something with me that involved singing, so that the plates wouldn't break. They had faces, over and over to some old rhythm and blues. If we could only hit the right note, but of course that wasn't it at all. Who can remember? Just that it was you. That I do know. I'll maybe see you tomorrow. Then this happened a while ago. A very young man in the back of the 27 bus near the end of the line once asked me if there was a Safeway nearby. No, I said, but there's a Cala. No, he said, a safe way. You get it? That's the first time I heard that, but I got it right away. My friend knows all about it. It's the people's senior or 5-finger discount. They won't give him a food stamp card for reasons unknown. And so we do what we have to do. That's all. Thank you.
So is your leg gonna be okay? Is your leg gonna be okay, Sarah? Or you have to use the
Oh,
cane?
I'm healing up. I like this. I'll keep it girl.
Is there anyone else who wanted to read who didn't get a chance to sign up? Okay.
Great.
All right, I'm going to just share. Got one for Father's Day and got one for Friday. Father's Day one is very short. It's called My Dad's Hand. My dad's hand pressed the broad of my back, pushed me forward towards life, but didn't always provide the most durable wings or teach me to fly with the greatest of ease, though the best that he could help guide me from fear while I flapped my feathers faster, refused to look down, and learned how to soar without making a sound. Neighbors, but strangers. Through his neighbor's hood, whenever he walks the streets, he consciously tries to hide his homosexuality, assuming those who don't ask won't guess, don't know if he won't disclose who he's dating in public or hiding up his sleeve. He moves in a satin shadow, a magician disappearing in a powder puff of steam, remaining unnamed, unknown, and mostly seldom seen. He's Mr. Down Low, he's Mr. So-and-so, he's Mr. Gay Discreet. He always knows it's time to go before accusations fly. He projects no gender preference, like he could be straight or bi. I guess you could call him a neighbor, because we walk down parallel lines, and each time I pass him by, my gaydar senses a brethren bond, as his path crisscrosses mine. We are neighbors, but strangers who walk on the run, who navigate through a space where gay isn't safe to be or say, where a stab of homophobia can kill as fast as a loaded gun. But whether due to fear or pride, he avoids all contact of eyes, never looks up to recognize that he and me, we're just two undercover closet queens. So I choose to keep my door ajar while he locks his with a key. Why is it so easy to pass each other blindly? Is it to not be reminded of a pain we might share in kind? Maybe he just doesn't like my style, or maybe he's throwing shade, or maybe he's been abused or victim of a bashing that makes him walk with his head hanging down that way. I always hope one day we may link eyes so he can finally see there's a kindred spirit over here walking in the ghetto queer who shares a commonality. But he only looks down to count the cracks on pavement street, while the silence of no acknowledgement freezes the air between two neighbor strangers, he and I, who treat each other like I and he. I look up and, though I should, I never speak. He looks down, makes no sound, and avoids all eye contact with me. Thank you all very much. This has been wonderful as always. Thanks to our wonderful features, Tommi Avicolli Mecca, and thank you all for coming. Again, next month we will not have an event here, but we'll be back. I said August 18th, I meant August 17th. Saturday, August 17th, we'll be back with Garrett Murphy and D.L. Lang. So please come back. Thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of the month. Happy Father's Day, happy Pride, happy June, happy everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Clara and the Clarion staff.
Let's hear it for Greg. Bye.
Thank you. Oh, good to see you. Oh, yes. Thank you. You're so wonderful.
That's a good song. Okay. Great.